I'm going to show you the exact framework that you can use to translate those granular media metrics that we hold close and proud to our hearts. I'm going to talk about how to translate those granular metrics into the high level business outcomes that your leadership team actually wants to see at the end of the day. So, how do we actually do this? How do we build this rock solid foundation? Well, we use a thing that I like to call a translation matrix. So right now, you're likely handing your executives an operational report, right? Especially right now because we're in April. As we record this, we just finished Q1. You're probably handing the executives an operational report of some sort. Now, operational metrics tell you what happened. A click happened, a view happened. But leadership needs KPIs, key performance indicators. They need KPIs to tell you why it matters to the bottom line of the company. So to bridge this gap, we have to actively translate our day-to-day media metrics into direct business outcomes. So what I want to do is I want to look at exactly how to translate your three most common metrics that we find in our reports. First up, cost per click and click-through rate. Those of you that work with me, you hear me talk about these two things all the time. So this should probably be of no surprise to you. Yeah. So as media buyers, we obsess over the numbers here of CPC and CTR. We optimize all day to get them lower. But here's the hard truth. Your executive team doesn't care what a click costs. They care what a customer costs. They care what a client costs. So we have to translate CPC into CAC. We have to translate CPC, cost per click, into CAC, customer acquisition costs. There was this really great report that Gartner did, and they provided these amazing benchmark data on marketing spend. And when I was reading this, there was one thing that was incredibly clear to me as I was reading through. What was clear to me was that operational indicators must map directly to top line revenue growth in order for leadership to take them seriously. So when you sit in a boardroom and you say, hey, CEO, hey, CMO, we dropped our CPC by 20 cents, you're going to get blank stares. But we need to translate it here, right? Instead of saying that, say something like, our new strategy, our new targeting strategy decreased our customer acquisition costs by 15%, saving us $10,000 in marketing spend while acquiring the same number of users. If you say it like that, you're going to have their undivided attention. You're not just buying clicks, you're buying market share efficiently. Here's another one, conversion rate. We've all been there. You spend weeks A/B testing a landing page, right? You rewrite the headlines, you optimize the landing page load speed, you tweak the call to action button, and then boom, you do all this, and then you get a 5% increase on your conversion rate. Awesome job. Good job. You're good at your job. Amazing. Raise for you, right? In our world, that is a massive tactical win in our strategy. And so we're walking around the office, the whole marketing team's high-fiving each other, like, yeah, we got that. We got that conversion rate to increase by 5%, right? And then we take that 5% win to the C-suite. And we're like, hey, 5% increase conversion rate. And we get absolutely nothing in response. Why is that? Why? I'll tell you why. It's because to a CFO or to a CEO, conversion rate probably sounds more like a tactic or a metric that web developers will use. It sounds like IT. It doesn't sound like money. So we need to translate that. We need to translate that operational metric. We need to change that into a thing called pipeline velocity. what is pipeline velocity, Kai? I'll tell you. That's what I'm here for. So pipeline velocity is the exact speed at which a lead moves from their very first ad click to closed won revenue. It is the measure of how fast your marketing efforts turn into actual cash. So here's how to bridge that gap for leadership. A higher conversion rate on your end usually means a higher intent of user experience. So when you remove the friction on a landing page, or if you tighten the ad copy, you aren't just getting more leads. You are passing warmer, better educated leads to your sales team. And because those leads are better prepared, the sales team doesn't have to spend so much time overcoming the basic objections that a sales team might have to go through when talking to a new client or a new customer, a potential customer. Moving users through the funnel faster means the company generates revenue faster. So on your executive dashboard, you don't just report that the landing page conversion rate went up by 5%. Instead, you report that your optimized user journey increased pipeline velocity. You show leadership of the data. Because of your new campaign structure, the sales team is now closing deals in 30 days instead of 45 days. They are closing deals 2 weeks faster than they were last quarter. When you frame it like that, you are no longer talking about button colors. You're not talking about bounce rates. You are directly connecting your ad copy and your landing page design, all these things. You're connecting all of that to the speed of the company's cash flow. And I promise you, every single executive in the room cares about the speed of cash flow. I'll give you another example here. Engagement. Let's be brutally honest for a second. When you walk into a boardroom or you walk into a meeting with a bunch of stakeholders, you walk into a room with the leadership, you tell your leadership team that your latest campaign got 10,000 likes, 1,000 shares, and 100 comments. Most of the time, they're rolling their eyes. And honestly, they probably should. You can't make payroll with Instagram likes. Likes, shares, comments, they are the ultimate vanity metric if they're left untranslated. But here's where we fail as media buyers. We stop at the like. We stop there. We need to actively translate engagement into customer lifetime value, or CLV. Engagement is not just a digital pat on the back. Engagement is truly a measurable leading indicator of brand loyalty and retention. So when a user actively engages with your content, they are opting into your brand ecosystem. That action physically trains the ad platform algorithms, whether we're talking about Meta, LinkedIn, Google, it doesn't matter. It trains those ad platform algorithms to prioritize your brand in their feed. This directly lowers your future retargeting costs because the algorithm already knows that this user is receptive to your message. But it goes even deeper than just algorithm training. I want you to take a look at some data from McKinsey and Company. And they said that targeting highly personalized marketing and engagement strategies can actually lift global sales by 10% or more. 10%. Why? Well, it's because an engaged customer is a retained customer. And retention is the ultimate growth hack. High engagement isn't just about getting a double tap on a video. It is the mathematical foundation of repeat business. We all know that it costs significantly more to acquire a net new customer than it does to sell to an existing one. When your audience is actively engaging with your paid media, they are signaling intent. They're staying warm. So the question now is, how do we actually put this in a report? How do we actually put this in an executive dashboard? Well, you got to stop reporting on raw volume of likes and stuff like that. And instead, you report on the cohort. You show leadership that the segment of users who actively engage with your ad campaigns has a 20% higher customer lifetime value than non-engaged users. Show them how your engagement campaigns have increased repeat purchase rates or reduce the churn. When you're able to show your executive team that high engagement directly correlates with a higher CLV and lower customer acquisition costs down the line, the narrative is going to completely flip here. You're proving that your engagement campaigns aren't just a monthly expense or a fluffy branding exercise or anything like that. These engagements are measurable mathematical investments into long-term customer retention and sustained revenue growth.